Good morning. You are listening to National Real Estate Auction Radio. I am your host, Doug Dennison, and we are broadcasting from beautiful St. Augustine, Florida, the nation's oldest city at WFOY 1240 AM studios. Through the power of the Internet, this program is being streamed worldwide on 1240news.com. The show will be also archived on RALauctions.com. They're the sponsor of the show, and YouTube.com. We're going to be talking about real estate auctions, past auctions, upcoming auctions, different real estate markets across the country. We have a lot of topics today, and to help us out, we've got several real estate and auction leaders calling in today. In fact, this is a national real estate auction radio show. We have guests from 5 different states that will be calling in today. Let's go to the first caller. Good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning.
Is this Robert?
Yes, it is. How are you, Doug?
Well, fine. Robert Shapiro from the Waterford Companies from Needham, Massachusetts. Bob, tell us a little bit about your company and a little bit about your background.
Background on the company, we started Waterford Development in 1995, primarily as a multifamily developer and master planner of large projects. And since that period of time, we've built about 1,500 apartments, a 400,000 square foot office park, and a number of residential projects, including currently working on a 487 unit condominium project in Manchester, New Hampshire, called the Neighborhoods at Woodland Pond. We also have a small venture capital arm, and we also do consulting services in the hospitality and ski resort industry. So that's a little bit of background on us.
Well, very good. And I know the names of these cities that you're talking about. I actually grew up in New England, and it was wonderful living there as I grew up as a kid. Needham, that's near Boston, Massachusetts. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
And, yes, it's a nice place to live at this time of year.
Yes, it is. Questionable sometimes in February, but right now it's absolutely beautiful.
Actually, not questionable at all, Doug.
Well, I know your friend and partner Murph is into the skiing, so it's great up there in the February, January, March months, and wonderful skiing up in that area. You, Bob, also were in the auction business years ago. Tell me about that, and tell me about your experiences with auctions, good and bad.
Well, I was president of Larry Latham Auctioneers and effectively running the East Coast operations during the savings and loan meltdown with the FDIC and RTC and Freddie Mac as our biggest clients, as well as a number of banks and developers. It was certainly a good experience. We moved an awful lot of product. We were able to effectively write a lot of the affordable housing legislation for the RTC and the FDIC, during the early stages of those auctions, as they really didn't have an idea of really what they were doing in the beginning. So it was a worthwhile experience. We probably sold on the order of probably about $800 million worth of real estate over that period of time.
Wow.
And it was, it was a good experience. We were doing, things ranging from the FDIC national auction, which we did the last year. That happened in 1992. And then we also did probably 3,000 houses for Freddie Mac. So it was a very adventurous and busy period.
Tell us about the national auction for the FDIC, because that was one of the biggest they've ever done, and it went great. Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, the national auction, we had the headquarters at the Heinz Auditorium in Boston. We had two-way satellites, which were really very interesting. So we had live locations in Atlanta, Dallas, and Los Angeles as well. At that point, that technology was a lot newer. We actually had a crew from NBC Sports and 2 satellites that coordinated that. And the auction marketing budget for that was about $2.5 million. So it was a very big undertaking. That was the point that we really knew that the that the market had recovered at the end of the S&L meltdown.
Mm-hmm.
We averaged 92% of appraised value, which was really, pretty much unheard of at that point. I don't know if that was a reflection on our skills or a reflection on the appraisers, but it was a very successful event, and we probably sold on the order of $400 million worth of real estate in that 2-day event.
Wow, that's wonderful, wonderful. It kind of turned, like you said, it kind of turned the corner for the meltdown and kind of finalized that, because that was one of the biggest auctions, but it was one of the last big auctions too, and you should be very proud of yourself and being involved. And of course, you know that I know Larry Latham and visionary, and Larry actually became a newly inducted member of the Hall of Fame for the Auctioneers Association. So,
well, I think that he certainly deserves that accolade and recognition. He's has been a visionary and done a lot of work for the auction industry and helping to improve its standards.
Absolutely. Tell me a little bit about your crystal ball for, number one, your area. What's happening in the real estate marketplace, and what do you foresee in the next 2-3 years?
Well, I think you're seeing a number of things now, Doug. First of all, I always like to point out to people that real estate is local. And when you read the national press and they talk about the various challenges, with all respect to where you're located, every market in this country is not Florida or Las Vegas or the Inland Empire in California or Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
We're fortunate here in New England. We were one of the first to go into the real estate recession, but we didn't have the quantity of overbuilding that we did in a lot of other markets. Our employment has rebounded pretty well here. For example, in New Hampshire, the unemployment is 4.8%, which is one of the lowest in the country. So, we're seeing a lot more traction on the residential side this year than we certainly have in the last 3. At our Neighborhoods at Woodland Pond project, we opened our models of the Highland homes in March, and we sold 8 houses since then. So that's that's an encouraging sign.
Mm-hmm.
As far as commercial real estate is concerned, we just opened our first LEED certified hotel in North Kingston, Rhode Island. Putting that deal together, where the financing was put together a year ago, was extremely difficult, but we got it done with a combination of a small bank and the SBA. Now, clearly, the lenders have opened up the spigot some. There's a lot more money in the system, and getting construction financing has gone from being near impossible to being considered in a lot of areas now. So, like everything else, we're firm believers that the time that you want to be building is when everybody is scared to death.
Right.
And when labor rates are low and commodities prices haven't gone through the roof, banks are kind of famous for lending money at the top of the market to people that can't pay them back. And when they have the opportunity to establish relationships with qualified borrowers that they've always wanted to do business with, they tend to be a little bit slower off the mark. But money is coming into the system now. It's interesting that the latest QE2, which put $600 billion into the system, was supposed to leverage up to $3 trillion worth of loans, and the actual loan volume has been about $300 billion instead of that $3 trillion. So there's a lot of money in the system. The banks are now trying to get it out a little bit more aggressively, which is a big change, and I think that will speak well for the commercial real estate market going forward. The other piece of perspective that I think is important is there was an enormous amount of money that came into hedge funds looking for distressed real estate transactions, and there really haven't been a huge number of those deals of any consequence, and there's a lot of money in the system. So, you've seen multifamily as an example. selling for ludicrous cap rates
right.
in markets up here. I mean, CBD 4.5 caps. As a developer, I got to tell you, I'm a seller at that price. I wouldn't consider, investing money in a liquid real estate to make a 5% projected return on my money. That's just absurd.
Right.
Okay?
Too much risk for that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. So, it's interesting to see how that is all playing out. I think that that is why people are now moving back into some new development and new construction. Retail is still soft because of the number of big box retailers that are out there that have kind of gone away in the process. But the office market has rebounded. I think better than people expected that it was going to. The multifamily market, particularly rentals, are extremely strong. We have 150 permits that we still own at the residences, and our intention is to build them as condominiums and rent them and then sell them as condos, as that market continues to improve. And, the talking heads are wonderful about telling you how the housing market has changed and people are moving away from buying homes, and the answer to that is you're in a cycle. Apartment owners are going to continue to push their rents while they can because of the strength of the rental market. And when you cross the threshold and it becomes cheaper to buy and own than it is to rent, then you'll see people moving back toward housing. I mean, there's no great revelation in that. It's just common sense.
Well, very good insight. Listen, before I let you go, you also are very into the charitable giving and do a lot of charity work. What's your big fundraiser that you work up there every year?
Well, I'm my second full-time job, which I'm very pleased and rewarded with, is I'm the chairman of the board of directors of the National Multiple Sclerosis Society for Greater New England, which is 4 states. And so I'm an avid cyclist. We have our event, the Cape Cod Getaway, which is a 2-day bike ride, which will encompass about 180 miles from Boston to Provincetown, Mass, over a 2-day period. That ride is about, it's about 2 weeks. It's the 25th and 26th of June. I have a team of about 16 of us that are riding under Team Waterford. We expect that we'll have about 2,100 riders for that event. And
excellent.
And
wow.
We're planning on raising about $2.5 million this year. So anybody that would like to contribute to the MS Society, it's a wonderful cause, and we would be delighted to have you contribute to the Cape Cod Getaway and to Team Waterford.
Well, now is the time to tell us how people can get in touch with you and your website and email, all that kind of good stuff, Bob.
Well, if you like to get in touch with us at the Waterford Companies, I would go to waterforddevelopment.com, which is our website. If you'd like to learn more about our Neighborhoods project, that is theneighborhoodsnh.com, and you can reach me at my email at rshapiro@waterforddevelopment.com. And we appreciate the opportunity to be on the show, and wish you the best of luck with it and the option.
Well, thank you so much. And again, you're doing great work up there and in the New England area. I thank you for calling in, and have a wonderful weekend, Bob.
My best to you and your family, Doug.
You
Take
bet.
care.
Bye.
Bye now.
All right. That was Bob Shapiro. He's Executive Vice President of Waterford Development Corporation up in the New England area, the Boston area. He does work in New Hampshire. Good stuff, and we thank him for being on the show. Let's go for a quick break, and we'll be right back.
MarkNet Alliance is a national, membership-based network of 41 auction companies. Our companies are successful auction professionals with proven track records and thriving businesses. The MarkNet companies have a staff of over 540 employees who are working hard every day to meet the goals of their clients during our ever-changing economy. MarkNet companies are able to achieve these goals through cutting-edge technologies and ever-growing investor pools. To view the hundreds of auctions currently being conducted, or for more information, visit marknetalliance.com.
Okay, we're back. I'd like to talk a little bit about how brokers can get involved in real estate auctions, how they can make money. I don't do this a lot, but this whole program is to educate the public. The mission statement for our program is to provide an educational experience for listeners in a promotional format for auctions across the country. Our listeners are real estate brokers, real estate investors, banks, government officials, media, real estate media, auctioneers, and so it's a good cross section. But real estate brokers can make lots of money and have made lots of money with auctions for years and years and years. A couple of ways. Number one, when you have an auction, 99% of real estate auctions, they're looking for real estate brokers to bring the buyers. And so what you need to do as a real estate broker is to find out about the auction, look at what kind of properties are available, and say to your buyer, hey, there's something here I think you should look at, and let me register you. And each of the auction companies will usually have a broker registration form. Broker registration form basically is what the name of the buyer is, telephone number, email address, a signature. You need a signature, and then of course the real estate broker, the information about the broker and the signature, and then you send that into the auction company, and that protects you when your buyer buys and closes. And when that happens, depending on what the size is, it could be from 1% referral fee, which is kind of nice when it's a $5 million deal, that type of thing, or up to 3, 4, I've seen even 5% when it's smaller residential stuff like condos, that type of thing. So number one, you can make money, real estate brokers, by registering your buyers for an auction. Number two, auction referrals. This is you've got a buyer, and usually it's a banker. Excuse me. You have a seller. You have a seller that needs to sell the property quickly, and that could be through a variety of reasons. It could be tax purposes. It could be a death in the family. It could be a marriage breakup. It could be a foreclosure for a bank. It could be a government deal that needs to go. Timing is everything in this business. And so if they say to you, Mr. Broker, Mr. Real Estate Broker, listen, we need to sell, and we need to sell this quickly, then you're going to need to want to get involved in that and tell an auction company and say, hey, this seller is interested, and it's called an auction referral, and a percentage of it will go to you depending on how involved you are, which gets to our third type of way to make money as a real estate broker with auctions. One of the first deals I ever did that was involving the FDIC in a very large auction was in Lafayette, Louisiana, and it was 445 properties, and we needed help. We needed help to make sure that all the calls would be answered. We needed help from a real estate broker and a real estate firm that knew the area. And so we picked Oil City Realty. Carol Cruchette was the gentleman's name. And he and his firm of maybe 15 real estate brokers did an unbelievable job. They knew the properties. They did the previews for us, and they were able to register their buyers. They did a fantastic job, and because of that, they got a percentage of the commission. And so those are three ways that you can make money. And then there's a fourth way, and that is, okay, you've been to an auction and you've seen, how it goes, and you say, you know what, these properties are going under market. and I should buy one of these and get it as an investment. I know it's worth 100, but right now it's the bid is at 80. I'm going to become a buyer, and you can do that. So 4 different ways that you can make money by being involved in a real estate auction. Number 1, register your buyers for an auction. Number 2, auction referrals. You find out about a seller who needs to sell and wants an auction, you contact an auction firm. Local auction headquarters, where an auction company will say, all right, we've got a whole bunch of properties, we need a firm that can really help us, or even one broker to help us with one property. That's being involved and being the local auction headquarters or the local auction real estate agent, which helps out a lot and is paid by that. And the last is buying at auction. If the prices are right and you know that it could be valued at a higher amount, either right then and there or later, you can buy it and then turn around and sell it or hold it. And so it's a great thing. So brokers, we love you as auctioneers. We work with you. We want to work with you. And very, very important that we work together. By the way, if you'd like to contact me, it's Doug@RowellAuctions.com. Doug@RowellAuctions.com. Be glad to let you know more about these concepts and how you can make money. All right, we're going to go for the half-hour break. I want to thank everybody for calling in and giving me a chance to educate real estate brokers on how to make money with real estate auctions. Again, a quick break at the half hour. We'll be back. Thank you.
It's time to visit the St. John's Flea Market. Great deals every weekend. Every weekend there's more, too. Great bargains and great food and those great deals at the St. John's Flea Market. Get off I-95 at State Road 207. That's I-95 at 207. And if you want to be a vendor, hey, booth rentals start at only $10 a day. Churches and charities, you can get a free booth 2 days a month. And for everybody else, there's always great deals at the St. John's Flea Market. Call them up, 824-4210, or go to stjohnsfleamarket.com.
Hi, this is Sean Dugan.
And I'm Grace Carter.
And we are Agency 65. Remember, you got a lot of living to do. Don't go into retirement alone. For the first time in history, retirees are more concerned about living too long than they are dying too soon. Will you outlive your savings, or will you have income for life? Tune in weekly to understand the strategies that will help you through retirement and the challenges and issues that face our senior population today.
Join us on Tuesdays from 9 to 10 on News Talk 1240.
WFOY, St. Augustine.
Licensed by the state as a skilled nursing facility and certified for a broad range of payer types, the Ponce Therapy Care Center's team of professionals is committed to providing the best nursing care and rehabilitation services. Choosing a skilled nursing facility for a loved one is always a difficult decision. At the Ponce Therapy Care Center, our admissions and social service staff assist you in making an informed, caring decision. We provide information about our facility, determine your payment options, and strategize about your loved one's regimen of care, length of stay, and expected discharge to home. At the Ponce Therapy Care Center, we are proud that over 90% of those admitted to our rehabilitation program successfully return to home. In an industry that is often seen as the final alternative, our goal is to become your first option and facility of choice for skilled nursing and rehab services. The Ponce Therapy Care Center is located at 1999 Old Moultrie Road. Call us at 824-3311 or visit us online at poncecarecenter.com.
Are you regularly taking prescription opioid pain medications and suffer from constipation? If so, please listen closely to the following message. A research study is currently underway in our area to determine if an investigational medication is safe and effective in treating constipation that commonly occurs in people taking prescription opioid pain medications. Qualified participants must be between the ages of 18 and 84 and have been taking at least one prescription opioid pain medication every day for the past 4 weeks and have experienced less than 3 bowel movements per week while taking the opioid pain medication. Qualified participants will receive a study-related investigational medication and study-related health assessments. Help us put an end to the pain, opioid, and constipation cycle and call the Jacksonville Center for Clinical Research at 904-730-0166 for more information and see if you qualify. Again, that's 904-730-0166. So if you're between the ages of 18 and 84 and taking prescription opioid pain medication and have experienced less than 3 bowel movements per week, call 904-730-0166.
Okay, we're back. We've had a nice call from Bob Shapiro from the New England area, in the Boston, Massachusetts area. We just had a call, and they hung up. Hopefully they'll call back. We're looking forward to some great guests that are calling in today. I talked a little bit about how real estate brokers can work with auction companies to make money, and we are still in a foreclosure type of market, auction type of market, and regular real estate. You might find that you can make some money by working with auctioneers across the country, and I would suggest that you actually do a little progressive work on your own and contact these auction firms and say, hey, if you're ever in this area doing a real estate auction, would be glad to assist you. That's one way. Get on the auction company's email list so that when there is an auction in your area, that you'll know about it. Okay, we've got a call. Good morning. You're on the air.
Hi, Doug. It's Kurt Allman.
Hey, Kurt. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great.
Well, good. I know you're traveling today, and I really appreciate you calling in. Tell us a little bit about your company and where you're from and your background.
Well, my individual auction company, we're almost 50 years old. It was something my dad started back in 1962, and he kind of progressed, did a lot of estate auctions within a 30-mile radius, and whenever I came on board and took the company over, we diversified into a lot of different niche markets, and now we travel coast to coast. So I grew up in the auction business.
Well, excellent. Tell us a little bit about your auction firm. What kind of auctions do you do? This is a real estate radio show, but do you also do other types of auctions?
Yeah, I mean, our real estate business is predominantly farmland. I mean, we do residentials and commercial and investment properties, but last year we sold about 9,000 acres. About 75% of that was production farmland, and the rest was recreational land. So that's the bulk of our real estate business. Our niche business is we're the largest antique tractor auctioneers in the world. So
wow.
That and $2 will get you a bottle of Mountain Dew.
Tell us a little bit, because you get a segue here. You do a lot of farm acreage, land auctions. Tell us how you do that, and are you doing it combination internet or combination on-site or ballroom? How do you do it?
Well, every project's different, and it calls for different techniques. So, I mean, we use them all. Almost any kind of acreage that we sell that is divided into more than 3 or 4 tracts. We use a multi-parcel bidding method, whether live or online. It's basically the same principle. We use the same piece of software, and we've done, up towards about 50 tracts of production farmland in one project, and it's as far as I'm concerned, that is the only way to sell it. It allows the buyer, the freedom to put together any combination they would like. It gives them a lot of control in how they purchase it, and so then that only leaves the question of how much you're going to pay. So,
tell us about MarkNet Alliance. You are very involved in MarkNet Alliance. Give me a little bit about history, your involvement, and what does MarkNet bring to the table for an auction firm that might want to be involved?
Well, it's certainly been a boon to our business. We were right on the ground floor with the creation and development of MarkNet, along with a few other companies, and basically, I think that's coming up on 3.5-4 years ago, and it's experienced a lot of growth in a real short amount of time, and it really provides a business management platform. I think every auction, there's a lot of auction companies anyhow. They spend so much time working their business instead of working on their business, and it provides a enterprise-wide system to run your business, as well as a plethora of tools like online bidding and multi-parcel online bidding, which MarkNet is actually the only group that can do a multi-parcel auction online only. So that's pretty significant. And then, of course, it with the members that are in MarkNet, it provides really the nation's only distribution network. If you had a large client that had properties in several states, it allows them to come to one person, one firm, and that firm can handle all those auctions in all those different states through the different members and the software. So it's really in my line of thinking, it's really the only nationwide auction company with representatives on the ground. All politics are local, and so are all auctions.
Well, you're right. Now, we had our previous guest. He was involved in the FDIC national auction years ago, and actually had to have satellites in different cities for people to bid. And we've come a long way. I mean, the fax machine, registering bidders, and now the internet has just unbelievable trend, and it continues to grow as far as doing auction business, but also advertising. How do you see the trend going, and is it gonna continue this way? What's your beliefs?
Well, the internet's changed the entire world,
right?
Not just the auction industry, but it has drastically changed the auction industry, because it has taken number one, it's much easier to market and find buyers, and for those buyers to find you. And second of all, it just it's a whole new vehicle, a whole new platform in the way that information can be delivered, and also in the way that they can participate. They can participate live in a simulcast, or they can participate in an online only auction. And there's no argument that brings buyers to the table that you wouldn't have gotten 10 years ago. I was very involved in the very, very early stages of online bidding when Amazon.com was actually kind of the inventor of simulcast live bidding. Most people don't know that, but we were one of the first 3 companies to participate with them on that platform, and at that time, I can say that it might have been a little bit of a novelty, and it is just pretty standard today. So I think, at least in my own firm, business is moving online only, and the only live events that we have are auctions that are truly events. Mm-hmm. So it's changing, and it'll keep changing.
Well, thank you so much for calling in. Tell us how people can get a hold of you, and also tell us how people can get a hold of MarkNet.
If you want to get a hold of Alman Auctions, you can go to almanauctions.com, and that's AUMANN auctions, plural with an S.com. And I would encourage you to check out MarkNet Alliance. That you can go to marknetalliance.com, and I think we've got about 500 auctions up right now that you can peruse through, everything from personal property to real estate.
500 auctions. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Your site is becoming a place for everybody to go to find out about auctions across the country. I thank you, Kurt. Thank you for your time today, and I appreciate your hard work.
Thank you, Doug.
Take care now.
Bye-bye.
Okay, we have a new caller. Good morning. You're on the air.
Doug, good morning. It's Mike Buck calling from Denver, Colorado.
Well, thank you so much, Mike, for calling in. This is wonderful. We've had somebody from Illinois, somebody from Massachusetts, and now Colorado on the phone. Mike, tell us a little bit about your firm and your background, please.
Well, thanks, Doug. I am the broker of record and one of the owners of a company here in Metro Denver called Coldwell Banker Castle Pines. We are the preeminent residential brokerage company in a very luxurious gated community called Castle Pines Village down in the city of Castle Rock, Colorado, which is just south of the Denver metro area. We concentrate in sales all over the metro area. We are the only independently owned Coldwell Banker franchise in the metro area. All the other offices of Coldwell Banker are corporately owned, and so we distinguish ourselves by being the only independent in the metro area. We are a predominantly luxury home broker, or brokerage operation, although we do sell all over the metro area and sell from all price points. Our typical average sales price in Castle Pines Village is right at $1 million. This development is a luxury gated community with 24-hour security, heavily treed and pined with two Jack Nicklaus signature golf courses. And if you may recall, for many, many years hosted the International Golf Tournament. It was a Jack Vickers golf tournament that the community hosted for many, many years. So that's kind of an overview. We've got 10 brokers working in our office that do our business, and the vast bulk of what we do is in the metro area, but in Castle Pines Village. My real estate background is pretty simple. I graduated in 1972 and went to work for the largest development company in New Mexico. I spent about 19 years with that company, just gaining experience in all phases of land acquisition, income property acquisition, financing, development management, marketing of large income property portfolios, land development projects, and home building operations in basically a 5-state region. Moved to Colorado in 1986. Our company was bought out by a subsidiary of Public Service Company of New Mexico. And in the late 80s, when the S&L debacle occurred, I had an opportunity to work for the FDIC here in Denver for a short period of time, heading up their ORE division. And during that time period, had the privilege of liquidating a number of assets, vacant land, income property, residential properties, and working with your fine company to help us market many of those assets in this part of the world. So that's kind of a quick snapshot of Mike Buck, Doug.
Well, we did have fun working with you, and it was very successful. I remember a couple of them, and it has been some time, but I remember we had properties in like 8 states and did an auction in the Denver area with telephone bidding and great response. And we also had one in Florida. There was a development in Florida that we sold for you, and there's probably a couple others, but you and Linda Lohner for the FDIC was wonderful to work with, and please give her my best if you ever talk to her.
I will. I definitely will. And you know, to your company's credit, I think you were very successful in helping us reach the broadest range of potential bidders on properties, and the percentage of final sales price to appraised values was high, and you did a very, very good job in getting an excellent return on those assets. So, you know, the compliments go both ways. I wouldn't say it if it hadn't happened, and you were just a dream to work with during that process.
Well, thank you. I'm blushing right now. So thank heavens it's radio. Listen,
put some suntan lotion on. It's Florida, right?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Thank you for calling in. But how can people get a hold of you, and website and email, all that kind of good stuff?
Well, you can go to our website. It's www.castlepines.com, and that tells you about our company. Our phone number is 303-688-6100, and you're welcome to call us. And if you know of anyone moving to Denver that needs help with a luxury home acquisition or moving from the area, we'd love to hear from you. We'll handle them with kid gloves very professionally, and would enjoy any calls that we might get.
Mike, thank you so much for calling in. Appreciate it. Enjoyed our friendship for these many, many years. You have a great weekend.
Thanks, Doug. Call me next time you get to Denver.
I will. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
Okay, we have another caller. Good morning. You're on the air.
Doug.
Is this Buck?
Buck Hurd, how are you?
Well, I'm fine. And you're calling from, well, you're not calling from Georgia. You're somewhere in Florida today. Is that correct?
I am in Florida, but yes, I am from Moultrie, Georgia, but I live down here in Florida on some business.
Well, good for you. Good for you. Buck, tell us a little bit about yourself. What's your background? How did you get into auctions in the first place?
Oh, Lord, Doug, I've been doing this since 1982. I went to church with Tom and his daddy. We got to be friends, and I was farming, and I either had to borrow a lot of money and get bigger, and Mr. Rowell said, don't borrow any money, come go to work with me and just make money. So I decided I'd got out of the farming and got in the auction business and never looked back. One of the best things that ever happened to me.
Well, you are well known for your big deals, and you're a consummate professional, so that works good, and you have a lot of repeat business, which is, you know, as a sales representative in any company, that's a sign of a professional when you get repeat business. Do you agree?
It is, and Doug, if you go in the auction business, you've got to have repeat business.
Yes.
If you don't do a good enough job to where you can go back, you just need to keep on going. You know?
I hear you. Tell us a little bit about Rowell Auctions.
Well, Rowell Auction Company got started back in the early 70s, middle 70s, and we have basically been a land selling business. We've been in the land selling business, and that was sort of our specialty for many, many years. And we got here a while back when the economy changed and things went around. It's like I tell people, being in the auction business is like picking peas, Doug. When you go to the garden, you just have to look for the row that's got the most peas on it. And right now, that's the banking industry. And in order to sell land for banks, Doug, you've got to be able to sell multiple properties in multiple locations at one time. When Tommy and his cohorts developed this on-site, this online bidding system that we have, and it's sort of unique to everybody else's in the country, it has just revolutionized the way we do business. And, of course, our clients want to do the online sale, but, you know, people, your bankers, they want to see it and feel it and touch it.
Mm-hmm.
And so what we've done to take this another step further, we do them online and do them on site at the same time. And the sellers really like that situation. And it's working real well. We've got the ability with the computer systems and the networking that we have to show the sellers the actual auction going on the backside. We set up in their office away from everybody else, and they can see the actual bidding going on. So it's a system that really works. And, of course, we're still strong in our online bidding system, our on-site systems. We put the tent up about once a week now and 4 or 5 times a month, and it works real well. So, we're conventional auctioneers doing what we've always done, but yet we've changed with technology to better serve our clients.
Moving with the times.
Got to move. And if you sit still, the world will go by you.
I hear you. So as a seller, as a bank, you can actually sit with you on a computer and see the actual bids come in as the deadlines approach. Is that correct?
That's correct. Of course, you hit the refresh button, and every time you hit it, they're looking at the total bid. We did one last Tuesday up in Ellijay, Georgia, and every time we hit the refresh button, Doug, you see that thing would jump up anywhere from $5,000 to $30,000 every 3 or 4 minutes. And it just, and they can see the number of bids being placed. That morning when we started out, we had 552 bids had been placed on 72 pieces of property. At 1 o'clock, when all the extended bids had ended and everything was over, we were somewhere around 1,230 some odd bids had been placed. We'd gone from 500,000 up to 1,000,006 in just a 4-hour period of time, and they're sitting there watching it minute by minute.
What is
and
this?
It just really excites them.
What is this extend a bid concept that you're talking about?
Well, Doug, it's like buying. People are very familiar with buying on eBay, and when you buy something on eBay, you have a specific time that the bidding ends, and everybody waits to the last 15 or 20 seconds. And they try to snipe the bid. They'll enter a bid there at the last 30 seconds with hopes that nobody else can bid again. Well, all computers are on different times depending upon your server. Now, there may be a half or 2 or maybe 3 minutes difference between your computer and my computer. And if we're bidding on the same thing with another server, then it's not fair. It's not equitable.
Right.
Whichever one at the earliest time has got the advantage, and we don't know that. We don't know who's on what time. So our system is designed where if anybody bids in the last 10 minutes, we have a definite closing time. But if anybody bids in the last 10 minutes, Doug, it will automatically extend at the given time. It will automatically extend 10 minutes and send an email to all your registered bidders telling them that the bidding has been extended. Well, if it extends from 2 to 2:10, well, if anybody bids between 2 and 2:10, guess what happens at 2:10? It's going to extend again. And it will continue to extend as long as people bid. So we have to go a full 10 minutes without the bidding being extended. Now, what does that do? It gives everybody parity. It keeps everybody on the equal clock.
Okay.
And it keeps the sniping down. The bidders don't really like it because they want to buy it and nobody else get to bid again.
Right.
But it's like I tell my sellers and I tell my buyers, y'all may run out of money, but we're not going to run out of time. And it keeps going.
I'm guessing that the sellers like it because it brings more money, but I'm also guessing the buyers like it because they don't want to have that what you call sniping and really wanted the property, but because their server was a little bit weaker than another server, their bid comes in at the wrong time. So at least they have a chance to make their best and last bid, which is important. Tell us, is there any auctions coming up for Raul?
It is, Doug. We're right busy. We're very, very fortunate. We're sitting here looking over in Lafayette, Georgia. We go do an on-site sale on June the 11th.
Mm-hmm.
June the 13th through the 22nd, we've got a 30-acre tract of land in a commercial building there in Moultrie that we go do online. June the 18th, which is a Saturday, we go be in Upson County, Georgia at Bickley's Lake. Got a nice tract of land, beautiful pond. I say pond, it's a lake, really, Doug.
Right.
About 20 acres, it's beautifully landscaped, a lot of trees, and got a nice house on it. And then June the 23rd, we got a little over 1,000 acres in Dooley County, Georgia. Then on the 15th of June, on the next Saturday, we got a tract of land up here in Ben Hill County. And believe it or not, July the 4th weekend, we go be closed, Doug. We decide to take us a weekend off.
Well, family time is good.
It is. And we come right back on the 19th with an online sale in Columbus, Georgia, with about 28 pieces of property. Also on the 21st, another online will be closing, and that's really unique. You want to pay attention to this, Doug.
Buck, I've got to close the show. I think you could talk about the upcoming auctions for another 10 minutes. Tell us how.
Well, I can, but the antique cars, you really want to look at it. July the 21st.
Tell us how to get on the website to see all of these auctions, please.
And it's real simple. It's just Rowell, ROWELL, auctions.com. RowellAuctions.com. You can see it all.
Buck, thank you so much for calling in. I appreciate it, and continue your fine work.
Thank you so much, Doug. I look forward to seeing you on the road, my friend.
You bet. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
Well, great calls from 4 or 5 different states. Thank you so much for calling, everybody. We will be back next week, same time. And again, thank you for listening. We appreciate it.